5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 30 short forward left. Keep right to the
This is kind of a fun opportunity to talk a little bit about my anxiety and how it manifests and how it's so like specific. Because you'd think almost, you know, doing something like this is kind of intense, you might get nervous, whatever. I really don't. I really, like even when I do, not that I've done anything like this in real life, but sometimes, you know, dangerous things, if I have control of the situation, I know what to do. Even if it gets dicey, like, I don't normally worry or stress about it. A lot of my stress is very socially derived. And I was reflecting on this yesterday because my boy Gon and I we were cooking on some Rocky beans this morning, like really early this morning. I'm still going to take this a little bit leisurely because I still just want to chat. I'm having fun chatting, I won't lie. Yeah, I was just talking about this with Gon, about how he was saying he was struggling a little bit with goaltending, because goaltending in Rocket League, there's always this huge moment. Oh, I thought I'd make it. There's always this moment where it's like, not only do you have to figure out what to do, but you have to commit to doing it. And there's so much pressure on the goaltender, because if you miss, you're done. Like that's it. You get one shot, and if you miss, you get scored on, right? In one attempt. It's very samurai-esque, where it's like you have a split second to commit to something, and everything is riding on that one decision. And it's very common for players to sort of freeze up in that situation. And I've made a big deal in the channel before about being a good defender, and I truly do believe that. I think I'm a very strong defender, and I think I've earned that pretty solidly. But my point being that I think that actually comes from a childhood experience of goaltending. Redundant information for Gon, because we were just having this conversation this morning, like I said, but when I was younger, I was in sports. I was in lacrosse and hockey year-round, and I can say while I play hockey, I'm not particularly gifted or in any way in hockey. It wasn't the sport that of the two I was actually good at. Played a lot of tri-county, whatever, and I learned a lot. I was really good. I was a solid defenseman. I could have made a travel team, I think. If there was a little less politics involved. There was some prejudice, a little bit though, because I was a chunkier kid, and while I had all the speed and acceleration of somebody half my size, people just weren't really looking for me, I guess. There's some family politics at play as well, I mentioned, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. I don't think I would have made it big in hockey. Lacrosse, however, I don't like to toot my own horn a lot, but I was genuinely good at lacrosse. I played goaltender in lacrosse for 11 years, and I was genuinely fantastic. And part of that was because I come from a small town. That small town has a lot of lacrosse talent. Like, it's actually genuinely crazy how many, like, truly good lacrosse players come out of that place. And while not necessarily all of them are going pro or anything, as far as I recall, we've got some representation in the big leagues for a small town. And on top of that, like I said, there are other struggles with having small sports leagues. So we had lots of really good, dedicated players. However, oh shoot, that's not the correct road. Okay, I'm very good at this. However,
40, 6 left Titans, into caution, 6 right of a crest.
we just played teams that were not necessarily better than us, but just had more players. On our worst year, we had 8 players and a goaltender, and we were up against team. And like lacrosse is like a bit like soccer. You spend most of your time on the floor just kind of running and jogging around. And on top of that, some rough stuff, right? Lacrosse is not a gentle sport. So it's very exhausting. It's very exhausting. So you pit 8 players up against a team of 15, 3 full line changes, and meanwhile, in our case, you have to take 2 players all the time and strategically skip their line changes so that we can field a full team. This leads to situations where my team gets extremely gassed out and basically just had heroic moments where on offense, but for the most part, we would just be absolutely oppressed by the energy and recovery on the other team because we didn't have time to recover with our population, etc. And I'm the only goaltender ever. I was never on a team with a second backup goaltender. And again, we face teams where, you know, you can change out a goaltender if they're having a bad day, or if the goaltender's just tired. Like, I played a lot of games in like 40-degree weather in cross goaltending equipment, which is basically a freaking suit of armor. It's very, very, very hot, very exhausting, hard to concentrate for a full hour doing that. And I don't get any breaks. I'm on the floor the whole way, start to finish. So, suffice to say, because my team would get gassed out, I would see a ton of rubber. Like, I would have 70 shots plus most games, and my save percentage was actually pretty crazy. The fact that we ever won a game ever was crazy. But again, not literally just me. We had other talented people who could actually make some plays on offense every once in a while when they had the energy. But it was up to me to allow my team to rest. Like, if my team needed a break, I just basically had to keep saving the fucking ball while they conserved their energy to actually make an offensive play. Not that we were thinking in those terms, but that's ultimately how the equation worked out, right? If they need to rest, that means I face more offense from the other team. Do I survive that? Maybe? We're close enough to the end. We can probably limp it. So yeah, long story shorter, I faced a lot of rubber. I got a lot of practice and experience goaltending. I won some awards goaltending. Like I said, I was genuinely good at it. But to connect this back to being our libero in Rocket League, is I kind of got to skip the phase where you have the freeze on goaltending, because I spent 11 years playing some extraordinarily intense goaltending. So I don't get that freeze up reaction anymore. And lacrosse in particular will condition you out of this. I was again telling Will this particular detail. Because he was asking, that's because I was telling him, like, a lacrosse shot, even during the teenage years that I was playing, can sometimes rival like professional baseball pitch. You know what I mean? Heavy ball, and people are throwing it with a lever at you, and sometimes from 5 meters away. So your goaltending strategies are very interesting in lacrosse because, on the one hand, you have to be extremely reactive to whatever the offense is doing, but you also cannot just rely on reaction speed, because the shots incoming are going so fast that, for the most part, like, coming from a place very close and so fast that you can't just rely on reaction speed to do it. You have to read the play and figure out where the ball's going to be before it gets there. But yeah, I've been ranting a lot, but I've been able to hold my nerve a lot in Rocket League for that. And I was telling Gon about some of the strategies, because he was asking, oh, well, that sounds intense. Like, you could probably get winded from a well-placed ball. And I was like, yeah, but let me tell you about some of my other favorites that are unexpected. A ball straight to the face mask is really aggravating. That's basically a flashbang. Like, the ball shoots right at your face. Every instinct in your body fires to dodge the ball, but you don't. It's your job, in fact, explicitly to not dodge the ball. So you just eat the frickin' ball while all of your nerves just blast your body to move, and you just soak it to the face, and then and then it's extremely loud because you're basically wearing a tin can amplifier. So you just get this huge, like, and then your eyes close just by reflex. Like there's no stopping that at all. So your eyes close, and your helmet just goes bang, and all you hear is the beep, like the tinnitus, the tinnitus ring, the flashbang ring, afterwards. And yeah, it's a big shock to the system. And what's some other ones? The ball ricocheting off the back post and coming back, hitting you from behind, in places that have no padding, like your calves, your ankles, your hamstring. Those were always really frustrating. I once caught a ball. I actually caught a couple, but only one really in my older years that really sent a message. Like I caught it with, and I might as well have been wearing nothing. Like I was wearing a hockey glove, and I caught a lacrosse ball from like somebody standing on my crease and just trying to whale it past me. And I caught that physically with my hand, and my hand was bruised and the tendons were strained for like a week and a half. Like closing my hand properly was awkward. Still functional, nothing broken or anything, but pretty wild experience. But anyway, yeah, and then the whole like taking the shots to the face thing as the flashbang, that's actually not a rare occurrence, because players were occasionally taught, especially players with a hard shot, they're taught to just blast you in the fucking face as the goaltender. And their goal, they do this in the first period. So first couple of shots, if they've got some hard shooters, they'll whale the ball right at your face to create that really uncomfortable and discombobulating like flashbang effect. And what they're doing is intentionally trying to get you flinchy or like nervous about the ball. So you have to, as a goaltender, learn to override that instinct as well. Not just that it happens by accident, but overcome the fact that people are doing that on purpose, and that's really frustrating and annoying. And then also override your nervous system to not get puck shy over it. It's such an intense experience. So anyway, all this to say that I actually hold my nerves extremely well in some wildly dicey situations, until it's a social situation, and then I get really anxious. All right, rant is over. Let's actually drive the car this time. But yeah, thank you for listening to my lacrosse nostalgia. Just remembering fondly my sports reflections. When I was talking about it with Gon, I was like, I think I'm starting to realize why I don't like sudden loud noises and why they make me sweat. Because as soon as I was thinking about my experience in lacrosse, taking those shots right to the face, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting sweaty right now, in fact. So loud and aggravating. Very disorienting.
Keep right of a long crest into 5 right, keep in of a crest, tightens. Small crest and dip into 3 left of a crest. Slow in 80 downhill, 2 right don't cut, neat. Caution 1 left, very long, tightens. And keep left into unseen 1 right. Into 6 left, very long, tighten short 3. Into caution, 2 right of a crest, tightens. And 2 left, don't cut, very long, opens. Into 2 right, tighten short, 1 of a crest. Into tight 3 left, don't cut, 50, 5 right long.
But yeah, so I'm starting to accept the fact that I'm probably going to remain one of the better goalkeepers on the Glizzies just by virtue of that psychological experience. It keeps me fast and fluid when you're defending the net, because you don't have, at a certain point, 11 years of experience just teaches you that you don't have time to waste capacity thinking about anything. You just focus on the relevant information, and you do that. And all you're focused on is reacting to the current situation, anticipating where that current situation is going to develop to, and in some cases, just using your intuition to try and figure out what the shooter's going to do before the shooter's decided.
43 right long, tightens hairpin right long.
So it's just very involved. Oh, that's so sad that I just kind of threw it over that. I'm in a similar boat where things normally are considered dangerous but allow you to have a lot of...
Flat right, 60. Four left, very long.
But allow you to have a lot of control. Don't bother me, but social anxiety is a very big thing. Because there are too many variables, exactly, that I don't know how to deal with. The thing is, once you know a thing well, you know which levers to pull when you get into certain situations, and you're so focused on pulling those levers that even if things are going to go bad, you don't have any time to think about it because you're busy employing all of your capacity. All of your attention is going towards the solution to the problem immediately, and you don't have time for anything else. But social situations, exactly. I've met people who are very weird and different and particular across my life. Some of them have been in authority figures, you know what I mean? And I don't know what it is, I do get anxious. And even like when people express something, they're like, okay, we're gonna do this. It's like, people have this weird thing. And maybe this is just my particular brand of brainworms, but people have this weird thing where they sort of expect you to understand exactly what they mean when you go into a certain context. But the thing is, chat, I've been in that exact same context with different people doing the same thing, and they all actually have different expectations of behavior and how things are going to go. So I ask an actually extremely annoying, a frankly annoying amount of clarifying questions whenever I'm expected to do something, because those variables are just nonsense variables. They depend entirely on the person you're talking to and nothing to do with previous experience. In spite of what most humans want to say about like just acting normal, there isn't a fucking normal. Everybody has different expectations. And it's almost like I don't know what is guiding those differences. Like, I feel like a part of it is like social class, social economic status. Some of it could be, I hang out with a lot of people who are like not necessarily neurotypical. These kinds of things. So I don't know. My point is that just people are very, very, very different from one another, and it freaks me out that people sort of expect there to be a normal answer to any given question. Also, my brain is really good at generating possibilities, so a lot of times people will think there's like an obvious solution to a given problem, and I know Gon identifies with this too, but there's like an obvious solution to a given problem, but it's not obvious to you because you've generated 5 different solutions already, and you have no idea which one is the normal one, because like your brain doesn't always go to the same solution every time. It just generates a whole bunch of possibilities, and so you don't have like a normal answer. You're just constantly trying to figure out what the other people want. And so that's where a lot of social anxiety, my anxiety comes from. Oh my god, I was worried about that one. That's where a lot of my anxiety comes from. It's just trying to read through the lines in situations where I know you can't actually read anything through the lines. And so you're just like, I don't know how this person's going to react about X, Y, Z. And so my general vibe is just like, I like people who just, I don't care the exact I'm going a little fast here. There we go. I don't care about the general process or what exactly it is that people are doing. I care more about how they're going to treat me when I'm trying to help.
60.
So if you're chill, you understand. If I'm just trying to help, you're not going to chastise me or get weird.
Into 6 right,
Then
extra long of a crest.
I learned to not be socially anxious around you. I'm describing basically my friends.
Very long past lane.
Okay.
60 for right of a crest long.
But yeah,
opens
that's
the
basically
rocks. 50 for left
that's
of a
basically
crest
one of my
caution.
primary needs in a friendship. Is like I just need you to be patient, and I'll figure it out. And if you give me room to cook,
Into 6 right, tightens
we're
3.
probably gonna be good friends. 'Cause you're gonna
6
like
left,
what I'm
opens
cooking
extra long, 50
most of the time.
caution. 4 right of a crest jump, tightens. Sudden 3 left.
17-second deficit, in spite of just ranting about social anxiety.
Very long, tightens 4 of a dip.
But we are focused a little bit more.
To keep middle of a crest into sudden 4.
A little bit more on the track this time, not
60,
just the ranting.
Into 6 right of a jump past
I don't
junction,
have
60,
as
6
much,
left, 80,
as many tendrils reaching into the deep memory banks, remembering all the traumatic flashbang
to keep middle of a crest and 6 left of a
face
dip,
balls
30, keep right of a crest
that I took while I was
40,
goaltending in lacrosse.
6 left very long tightens 4 of a dip, opens, keep middle of a very big crest, 80, double crest, 50, 3 right, tightens of a crest, 50, 4 left long, 120 over bumps, 6 right, tightens of a finish,
Really too hard.
120 to stop.
Peanut butter! Easy peanut butter. We just had to focus there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Almost, what, 20 seconds? Almost